And we learned later that they were going to make me a platoon runner. Well, a platoon runner is, we run from squad to platoon with messages to tell them whether to move back or move left or move right. That's what a platoon runner does. All you do is run, and I will show you how small I am when I bend over. When I bend over, I am really small, and I can run like this with an M1 rifle. I can run like this with an M1 rifle very easily because of my height. And I'm very glad I was, because it saved my life many a time. Was in the Battle of the Bulge, and we had relieved the 45th Infantry Division, and they had battled all up through France, and they deserved a rest, and they were really worn out, and we relieved them, and when we relieved them, they fell back, and we went up to this hill, and in this hill, you looked over this hill, and down the hill was a little stream, and over on the other hill, they had just finished having a big fight and killed a lot of Germans, and they were laying over on that hill. And as we came up, Chuck, and I was with Chuck, was always with me, and Ollie and Gertz, and we got to look over, and here was this German medic with a big cross. They had red crosses like this, and held him out like he was coming down this hill, and that was the first time that I seen the German medic. And he was coming down the hill, and he was going to pick up some of the wounded. He had 3 guys that he finally, they were on their knees, and he got them up on their knees and took them back over the hill. Okay. So that night, we stayed there that night. And we were dug in over the hill, and out in front of us always there was this stream, like I told you, a little water stream, and then up over this hill. So that night, everybody had to stand guard duty in front of the foxholes out in front, and they were always dug in about 50 yards in front of the rest of the troops. The rest of it. Anyway, so I had to spend my time in it, and it was in the middle of the morning, and I was there, and they always had 2 men in this hole. It was for lookout. One guy slept while the other guy was awake. Then he would go to sleep, and the other guy would stay awake. So during time when I was on duty, I heard this noise in the water down in front of me. And was scared, I was scared. I'd never been in combat. And I heard this noise, and it just rattled me all to heck. So when I was in combat, I carried 2 bandoliers of clips on my shoulders, one this way and one that way, and 2 hand grenades hanging on each pocket. So I thought, well, I can't see anything, but I'm hearing something, so I just pulled the hand grenade off, pulled the clip off, counted to 10, threw the hand grenade. Heard this noise, and hits the water, explodes, and here's a whole bunch of ducks fly up. And they fly up, and I say, oh boy, what an idiot I am. In the fields, they fought in the cities in France, and they just tore the cities up. And we had to fight them door to door, and they, it was one of those things where you had to clear them out. And they had snipers and everything, but we got to this big field, and Chuck was with me, and girths. We were running as low as we could across this field because we were wide open, you know, wide open for fire. Nothing happened. We kept running and running. We got across this road into this town. Still nothing happened. We just couldn't believe it. My God, we never was fired on. We thought we'd at least be artillery shells or 88s would come at us, but nope, no 88s, no nothing. Go into one of the German houses and ask them to leave, and just we were told them we were going to build it in their house, in their houses. So we did, and we got to the got in, took all the mattresses off the bed because we couldn't sleep on the bed then because you're so used to sleeping on the ground that you had to sleep on the floor. So we slept on the mattresses on the floor. But anyway, I was down in the kitchen cooking stuff because, you know, we never had hot food all the time. It was either K rations or they brought stuff up to us. So as soon as we got in that kitchen, we were in there cooking stuff. We were cooking potatoes and, you know, frying up stuff, man, because we were hungry. So I went upstairs after we got through cooking food to tell the guys to come down. And I go up the steps and I go into this room where I had my equipment. And just as soon as I walked in the door, I look, and here's this bed. And this bed has curved sides on it. And this Italian boy that we had carrying the BAR, he was husky, and that's why we had him carry it. And he had laid the BAR on there, and that bed, and that thing was starting to slide. Just as I walked in the door, I looked, I see this gun starting to slide. It slides, and the whole clip goes off. He's on the ground floor, and I'm on the floor, and lucky nobody got hurt. We seen this barn, and Chuck wanted to go in this barn because they were still shelling us. And we found this barn, and we opened up the big barn door, and inside this barn was this big farm implement, and it had been built so that it was built down into like a concrete bunker. So we moved the equipment out of there, and we used that concrete bunker as a hole to hole up in. And we thought that was great, you know, because they could shell that barn, shelter. We were protected with concrete all around us. And we were in there, you know, and they're still shelling around. And Chuck says to me, he had looked out through the window, the back of the barn, and here was this shed. And it was just like a garage, a 3-car garage shed, and it had just one little door in it. And he wanted to go over there into the shed. So I went wherever he told me to go. I was his runner. So I went with him over there, crouched down as low as I could, like I showed you, and ran as fast as I could across from the barn to the shed. And broke through the door. We both broke through the door. We got in there, and we had heard shelling and shots and stuff. And come to find out later, that's where they shot these tracers from the anti-aircraft tracers over our heads as we ran from that barn to that shed. And everybody had seen it, and they thought sure we had got shot because they didn't see us tumble into the shed, and they thought we were dead. But anyway, we got in there, and we looked out this window, and up on this ridge, up to the left, like there was a row of hills there was this little, looked like an outhouse. It was too big, it was about 4x4 thing. And we looked at it, we kept looking and looking. It was finally starting to get daylight, because this whole thing happened, it was still raining and dreary, and you couldn't see too well. Anyway, we seen this glint, looked like glass. And Chuck says, you know, that must be binoculars or something. So he says, let's open up on them. So we emptied two clips into this little shed up there, and just as we got through firing, whoop, an 88 hits right in front of our little garage, and blows us on our butt, but was way out in front. And we're laying there on the ground, you know, never got hurt again. We got up, and ran back to the barn, and that's when they told us that that they had seen the tracers from the anti-aircraft guns being fired at us. Meanwhile, our tanks had finally got up to us. One of them had drove up beside the barn door, and he was sitting there. And all of a sudden, he opens up with this machine gun on top and starts firing into this canal, and he did not know that one of our own platoons was up there in that canal, and he had fired on him. And anyway, we finally got out and beat on the side of the tank with your rifle butt. You got him to stop, and he opened up. They wouldn't open up, you know, otherwise. They knew we were there, but they wouldn't open up. And the guy opens up, and we told him, hey, that's our man. And he's, you know, he was all shook up. Meanwhile, we were marching through the city. They had snipers in the buildings, and they sent Gertz and I around one side of the building, and Chuck had sent somebody else around the other side of the buildings, and they were marching up the street. They ran around this corner of this building, and right around the corner of the building, and I had my M1 just like this, you know, walking around like this, run around the building, and there's a German uniform. Helmet, I pull the trigger, I don't even hesitate, I pull my trigger, buddy, right now. I do, shoot right now. And this helmet falls off. The German has a gun, the gun goes up in the air, and shoots, goes up in the air. Helmet falls off, and lo and behold, blonde hair comes out, and this is a woman, a blonde-haired woman. And I didn't know what to think, and it kept right on going. And I got to thinking about it, and I never forgot it when I was out of the service, and I had to go to the VA twice a year to talk about it, to get it out of it, because I couldn't sleep because of it, because I'd dream it, you know. But anyway, I think it was 4 years ago, I didn't have to go back. Anyway, that was another thing that car on it, and we got in this sidecar and went up this mountainside, and Chuck knew how to drive it. He got it started and got it revved up, and we rode on, and we went up this mountainside, and we came into this village, and it was a nice village, and there was ducks and everything in the square, and we wheeled in there, and the ducks flew around, and standing right on this porch in this building was this German SS officer. Or no, he wasn't SS, he was just a German officer. And he shouts at us, "Where in the hell have you guys been? I have been here for 2 weeks waiting to surrender you people. I thought you were never going to show up." So we what the heck is this guy? He walks over to us, you know, and surrenders. He doesn't have a gun or anything. And we look up on the mountainside, and here's some more guys surrendered. And there's about 6 or 8 coming down, you know, with their hands up. Nick Sheeson, Nick Sheeson, Nick Sheeson. That's what they always said when they surrendered. And they always kept their hands up. And so you had to make sure that they weren't going to, you know, fool you. So you had to watch them pretty carefully, which we did. Anyway, we got them down, and they all surrendered, and we marched them back, and back to the rear echelon. And we were back there, And during that time, we found out the war had ended. The war was ended. They had all surrendered. They'd given up, and the war was over. And they give us we went back to camp. We had a camp, rather. We wouldn't call it a camp, but where everybody was bivouacked. And we got to rest a while there, and then we found out they were going to have a big ceremony, and for the ending of the war. And what they did was they lined all our troops up on this one side of this mountain, on both sides of it, and they even had the part of the band there, and we played the Star Spangled Banner, and sang and sang allegiance to the flag, and played the Star Spangled Banner, and it was really a great event, and I'll never forget that.